The Autism Story. This is Middlesex, a rarest English countryside. In 1960s time, things are changing its rules ahead where there were two autistic children named Sherman and Charlie. They are friendly and always tells everybody about their disorders, but not everyone believed that their conditions is real. Not even their doctors doesn't know what a condition, autism means in his formal opinion. The only way the children can feel their needs is to rarely show the signs from their hearts, even from their feelings. Meet Sherman, a loving boy who cares a lot for the whole community and feels slightly isolated from nobody understanding his problems. He was sadly kicked out of school, due to his unknown behavior problems, caused from his conditions inside. His sister Charlie has a rare brain disorder that not everyone knows, autism and also cerebral palsy, a very badly affection to have from old days till now. Since she also joined Sherman's school, Charlie was sadly placed in a wheelchair due to balancing problems and was sadly kicked out for no apparent reasons, apart from her being placed in a wheelchair. Charlie and Sherman's family at the time were extremely worried about their health due to the stresses that Charlie and Sherman were having through society. However, soon or later the family of the two will understand their conditions inside of them. And the old saying says today, that kind manners never costs anything. One day, when Sherman got more confident with himself and wants to help his sister Charlie, he promised to look after her while he takes her for a walk and then going to the shop to buy sweeties. Little that the family doesn't know that Charlie and Sherman are scared and allergic to the park as they don't like going on the grass because it makes them sneeze all the time. As Sherman takes Charlie for a walk towards the shop, they reached the park. It looks empty and no one's around. But they're still scared of going on the park grass. They don't know whether they should carry on walking or go back to their home safe. Just then, there's a young man walking across the park and saw the two disabled children getting scared of the park. The man realized what signs that the children were suffering with special needs, rather than autism. He came up to them, and said to Sherman and Charlie,
"I'm the man who saved a steam train locomotive, the famous Flying Scotsman. I'll give you two a free ticket that can take you and your family for a free train ride on the one of great and powerful steam engine designs of the British Railways. You'll love the journey on the Flying Scotsman. He is powerfully green."
When Charlie and Sherman came back home, they told their parents the good news.
Mummy! Daddy! That man has sense of feelings! It's also good to see the Flying Scotsman!
The family realized that their conditions does means it's a true meaning of conditions like this today and in the heart of Middlesex. The family also realized that they met a new friend who understands them too. They later took Charlie and Sherman on a free train ride on the famous Flying Scotsman. Flying Scotsman's special train ran from Middlesex, all the way to the Scottish capital. The children on the train ride at the time, were so happy to feel the comforts while watching the mountains and the skies of Scottish paradise.
How beautiful!
Charlie and Sherman's family were very thankful for someone that understands their children. After the journey back to Middlesex at the time, the young man who drove the Flying Scotsman went up to inform Charlie and Sherman's family.
"I discovered the signs of your two children. This does needs to spread everywhere that their conditions is special needs along with autism. That conditions their suffering are real. I shall salute you and your children always."
Sadly, in the late 1960s, The original owner was struggling to keep the Flying Scotsman going around the UK and across the worldwide, and has left as a original hour of the steam train, after facing a declared bankruptcy in 1972 from the High Court. Few years later, knowing that 2 children with disability were grown as adults till today, they changed their interesting hobbies and even their favorite things through new lives after getting used to going on the grass in parks. And sadly, never able to get to see the Flying Scotsman, as Sherman and Charlie separated their new future, after the second new owner stepped in to save the Flying Scotsman from scrap. The new owner of the Flying Scotsman at the time, William McAlpine, joined in the rescue the famous Flying Scotsman and realized that this steam train was loved by everyone around the world. He also discovered the locomotive secrets.
This train, I believe he loves those that may understand disabilities.
Upon discovering that the Flying Scotsman loved children and even disabled children, he feel like respecting both children's abilities and disabilities together. However, one day later in September 1989, before the famous train flew to Australia, one grown man with autism and his reunited sister spoke to William McAlpine.
Oh wow, after being on the famous Flying Scotsman since 1960s.
William didn't know that well with children with conditions at the time, until the grown man introduced himself and his sister.
I don't know if you remember us. We used to drive the Flying Scotsman before. It was fun.
After McAlpine found out that they were Flying Scotsman's passengers with a condition, he kindly let 2 reunited family members, Charlie and Sherman, have a final tour on the Flying Scotsman. They were happy to remember the day they first took a ride on the steam train on the British countryside. The Flying Scotsman missed seeing their remembrances of the 2 look-alike friends who first joined his special train. Sadly, in 1991, although both Charlie and Sherman were survived after an accidental plane crash during a holiday flight from the UK to the British Gibraltar Isles, they had a affection damage inside their brain and tragically died with a fit while saved on the Royal Gibraltarians lifeboat rescuers. Today, everyone around the world, including the UK, always spread their awareness of both disabilities everywhere. Well, I wish the Flying Scotsman should have done the same. What do you think?